Hey guys, welcome to the live stream. We made it. For those of you who don't know me, I do many live videos on Facebook. This is my very first time on YouTube doing videos, so I'm really excited to be here. Hey everyone. Oh my gosh. Everyone in the chat, it's so good to see you. I just kind of feel like YouTube's a different energy, a different level of experience, right? And it's a little bit easier technologically so far to use, especially for me. So thank you for being here. Thank you for joining. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Erin Gallagher, and I am Air Inspirational, and I am a spiritual advisor, and I am a healer, and I'm a tarot card master, Akashic Records reader, and teacher. And really, my purpose, my path is to empower people, to guide people to know that what they feel like holds them back is actually meant to push them forward. So say you're in pain or fear or have some kind of shame, guilt, something from your childhood that you feel like holds you back. I'm here to tell you it's actually your power. It's what you're supposed to have in order to move forward into your purpose, into your vision for your life. And a lot of people hear vision and purpose and they think, oh, that's too big. There's so many things. And I'm just, your run-of-the-mill person. And what I'm here to say is everyone is filled with light, filled with purpose, even if that purpose is to raise your children and to be supported and supporting other people around you. It could just be that. It doesn't have to be some huge vision-driven purpose that is larger than life. So really it's about using that energy of maybe pain or hurt to transmute it and move it into something more productive, right? So hey everybody, welcome. Oh, look at everyone. Oh, it's so exciting. Kemi says it's happening. Hi Pamela, hi Tanya, hi Rachel, hi Christina, hi Juliet, hi Jessica, hi Kemi. Oh, Jessica, you made it. Jessica was saying that she was putting her kids to bed and it's 10:30 p.m. over there. So for someone with kids at 10:30 at night, I applaud you for your commitment and for showing up. And Adrian, oh, it's so good to see you too. Adriana, oh my God, look at everyone. Patricia, hi Patricia. Trisha. So happy to see all you guys. So excited. So on Tuesdays, I do a little thing called Tarot Tuesday. I've been starting to do it every other week because I really want to, and I know on Facebook I had opened up the conversation in my Facebook group, which by the way, if you guys want to go join it at some point, it's called Transform Through Tarot with Erin Gallagher. Transform Through Tarot with Erin Gallagher. So I talk about just that, transforming, moving the energy around, using things such as tarot, Akashic Records, spiritual, magical ways of opening up our experience to something more than just the day-to-day stuff that we experience, right? So I usually do those every other week on my page. However, I'm trying to expand my commitment and my intentions to expand. So I'm going to start doing these videos whenever I feel like it, really weekly. I'll probably create a schedule. Myself and some other people on this amazing chat have really supported me in coming up with a plan, and we'll start doing Q&As. So I'll ask you guys questions. That's another thing too. If I'm not sure how YouTube Live works and if there's a separate comment section for just comments, or if your comments that you're leaving live become the regular comments afterwards. I think that's what happens. So if you want, leave any questions or any topics you'd like me to talk about in an upcoming Q&A. I'm also a tarot teacher, so I'm going to start doing mini tarot lessons. So we'll probably do like my friend Bill and I helped. Bill helped me with this, was to come up with where every single day I take a different card and I talk about what it means, and we go through every single card. And then after every single card is done being gone through, then we can start doing combinations and just mini tarot lessons about what each card means and what it's there to teach us. So Rachel says, Lily says hi too. Hi, Lily. I miss you so much. You are the best. Lily is Rachel's daughter, and she is just a little spark. I love her. So we're going to start doing readings. Hi, Caroline Martinez. Welcome. So yeah, I usually do the weekly or bi-weekly Tarot Tuesdays, but I am starting to expand a little bit. So anything you guys want to hear, past lives, anything about shame, grief, any kind of thing that you're going through. If you want to ask about spirit guides, if you want to ask about archangels, if you want to ask about angel and, let's say, angel and oracle cards versus your generic tarot cards, not generic, but traditional. So what I'm reading from today is the traditional Rider Tarot deck. They should say Rider Waite because Patricia Waite, or Rider Waite Smith, yeah. Patricia Coleman Smith. I like to see the Smith on these decks because Smith is the one that illustrated all of them. So I don't know why her name's not on there, but look, the Two of Cups, all about love, contribution, commitment, and exchange. Lovely, unconditional exchange. Not exchange based on you give to me, I give to you because I need it and you need to give it to me. So yes, bring on the questions. Bring on any topic you want to talk about. So as it says in the description to my video, if you want to ask about you can ask as specific a question as you want, or you can just say love, or you can say job, or you can just say, do my spirit guides want to tell me anything? So the way that I usually do this, and my regular watchers know, is that I have spirit divinely lead me to who is supposed to get the next reading, because spirit wants to support the most amount of people that they can in the most amount of time. So there's no accident that all of us, whoever's here, whether you know each other or not, is here at the same time. We are all here to service each other and lift each other up. So all of our energy is matching at this time right now in order for us to get the messages we're here to get. So if you hear a message that I give someone else and it resonates with you, even though it's not your message, it's for you, okay? So know that if you don't get a specific reading just for you, that it's okay. And you'll get one through someone else, because all of these messages are basically for everyone. I just want to see if anyone else is saying anything, any questions. Christina says, I would love mini tarot lessons. I would love to do them, so I'm excited about that. Okay, let's see. Hear about. Hi, Champagne. Beautiful name. Hey, Jen Hawkins. Welcome. Okay, so I'm going to get right into the readings, and we will kind of go into, sometimes as I'm going into readings, then there's specific topics that we start talking about, and I also brought my notebook in case I want to write something down to talk about at a later video. Okay, let's see who I'm being led to. Hi, Jenny. Okay, I'm going to answer this one question by Christina Rodriguez before I read for Kemi. Kemi, you're going to be next. Christina asks, is it true you're not supposed to buy your own tarot cards? Absolutely untrue. You can buy your own tarot cards. Anyone can buy them for you. You can buy whatever deck you want. In fact, I suggest you buy your own because you know yourself best. You know your intuition best. If you walk into a metaphysical store and you just feel pulled right to this color or right to this deck or right to this thing, and you pick it up and you're like, this is speaking to me, it's because it's calling your name and asking for you. It's asking you to come and purchase it. Also, different crystals, different card decks, different, really anything that we buy that like, say you're on Amazon, you go, ooh, I'm called to that, and you buy it. It's supposed to be in your life for a certain reason. Even if it's something as small as, this crystal is supposed to be in my life for a reason to help me stay present. And that's not really a small thing. That's a huge thing. It is nice to get gifted cards, and being gifted cards really lets you know that the cards, whatever deck they were divinely had your name on them and kind of went and found your friend, wherever they were, in order to like come down to you. So it is a little more like rare that and kind of more exciting because of that a card deck would kind of find you in that way, and more magical. But at the same time, if you want a card deck, get a card deck. And it's not, I think that's one thing I'm put on this earth to do, is to kind of dispel mythology around tarot, that it's like truly anyone can do it. And cards are not some mystical thing. They're just cards. I always say, like, the worst thing a tarot card can do to you is give you a paper cut, because it's a card. So that's, my mini spiel on that. Okay, now we're going to get into Kemi. So Kemi's asking for a general reading. Oh, Jen says, I have never seen a reading and not sure how it goes. Oh, this is exciting then, Jen. Okay. Jen is a tarot card reading virgin. Okay, cool. So I'm going to read for Kemi. Okay. Kemi has a little smiley face. All right. Um, First thing I see is a water slide. I see a water slide. I see a water park. So that to me says fun, playfulness, getting outside your comfort zone, not trying to get too stuck in how things need to look or be, doing spontaneous things. So spontaneity is coming up a lot. This makes me uncomfortable even talking about it because I am not a spontaneous person. And even when I tell myself like, I'm going to go to the beach today or something, and then I get out and I do in my work, and then at the end of the day, even if I have 3 or 4 hours to go do what I want, I'm like, I find some reason why I'm supposed to go home or do something else, and I don't do it. So spontaneity is coming up for you, doing something like way out of the ordinary that other people would be like, oh, she's crazy. Why is she like going to, let's say, a water park when it's cold out or whatever it is? So just, I'm feeling like, not that you're getting stuck, but there's a routine happening. We just hit 11 minutes on the live video. I just looked up at it, of course. Uh, so I'm feeling this playfulness, and it's not, you do have an inner playfulness, but it's almost like you've gotten kind of like, I'm seeing boots going through mud. So it's almost like you've become like in this trudging kind of energy when it's like, I don't want to be in this trudging energy, right? It's like, I'm, I'm trying to move, and it feels just very slow. Yeah, Kimmy says so true, not spontaneous at all. So it's just, it's going to, when you're spontaneous or you do something outside your comfort zone, even if you surprise yourself, even if you're like, just doing the normal things that I'm going to do every day. Okay, I'm going to go do this. And then like you trick yourself almost into doing it. Your body's going to be like, whoa, she really is. And this universe is going to take that as a sign. Like she's serious. She's going to do something outside of her comfort zone. So we're going to give her more abundance. We're going to give her more things that she can take and use. It's like so it's interesting. The Temperance card comes up. Temperance is all about, Temperance is a Sagittarius card, where my Sag is at. Temperance is a Sagittarius card, and this card is all about getting outside of your comfort zone. So it's about balance. So it's about balance. There's this angelic feel to it, but at the same time, it's about getting outside your comfort zone, doing something you would never ever normally do in order to kind of trick yourself or to give yourself a lesson in, see, I can do this. It's almost like do something that you naturally instinctively think like, oh, I'm not good at that, or I can't do that, or no, that never worked for me, and dispel that limited belief, because that limiting belief tells you, I've never done that and it's probably not going to work for me. But why don't you just like trick yourself and do it anyways and see what happens? And then if you succeed, then you can say, ha, see, I dispelled that limiting belief. And if you don't, that's fine. You can just say, oh, that's just teaching me the next thing I need to be taught in order to learn what the next thing is. So it's about getting a little bit messy, getting a little bit outside of the comfort zone. Not because if you're feeling trudgy or you're feeling slow or stagnant, it's because the spontaneity is lost. And so like this card, when I pull this card, I always think of my friend Cheryl. My friend Cheryl she'll like move across the country just for the hell of it. Like she has 2 children. She doesn't just like, it's not an easy decision for her to do things outside of her comfort zone, but she does that because she's always testing the limits. She's testing herself. She's testing, can I handle this? She knows internally she can, but she's like, but what if I can't? And she's like, fuck it, I'm just going to try it. Like, let's see what happens. And we could all really benefit from that kind of energy, but you especially, Kemi, it's really about kind of busting forth. Busting forth is what it's saying. Yes, break free, break free. I bore myself sometimes. Oh, girl, I know all about it. I validate my my unspontaneity by like, well, I got all the stuff I'm supposed to do today, or like I'm doing amazing, interesting things, but they're still in a schedule. Like, so and that's my validation. Or like, oh, but I'm still doing all these amazing things. It's like, yes, but you're not playing. Like, you're not getting inside your body. We're all supposed to like be in our child energy, and the older we get, the more it's gonna like go by the wayside, and the more it's gonna be easier to put it aside. So don't do that. I'm going to pull a card for Jen. Because A, she's never had a reading before or seen a reading, from what it sounds like. You're so welcome, Kemi. So, yes, I've never seen a reading and not sure how it goes. Oh, this is amazing. Okay, yay, Jen. I'm so glad to be doing a reading for you. Okay. Jen says, how do I fill up my cup while using all of me to fill the people around me? Okay, so the first thing that comes up, and this is what Spirit always wants me to tell people that have challenges around doing for other people, because doing for other people is beautiful and supportive energy, but at the same time it can be draining. So especially since a lot of us that are in this chat, a lot of us that are spiritually minded, a lot of us that are empathic, we get our joy from contributing, from being of service, for loving, supporting other people, and we have a bit of what's the word? Part of us does this subconsciously to get it in return, because we just think, oh, that's how people are, like me, like they want to give and support, but not everyone's like that. And if you're doing it with this subconscious belief of like, oh, it's going to come back to me somehow, and it doesn't, then resentment builds. So I'm feeling this thing about not be careful, but if you're doing it, even with the subconscious belief that maybe it will come back to you, if you like, maybe one of these days I will just like do so much for everybody that like something will come back to me. But that's not the way. That's conditional, right? That's a conditional energy. Even if you're not consciously saying like, I'm doing this to get things in return, it is a conditional energy saying, if I keep hoping that if I do this, and it is an energy of hope. I know the energy of hope feels beautiful and loving. Like the word hope makes people go, oh, it's so hopeful. But hope is really actually not really a positive energy, because hope kind of says, I'm not doing it. Hope says, I hope someday I'll do that, but right now I'm not going to commit myself enough to something in order to make it happen. So it's really for you, Jen, about committing to something bigger, committing to yourself in a way that you're committing to everyone else. I think what I also hear when I'm doing divine channeling is that many people believe, that we have two cups, one that's for giving, one that's for receiving. Or actually, we believe we have one, okay? We believe that we have one where when we give, it comes from us and we're giving ourselves in order to give to other people. And then we believe that when we receive into the same cup, that we are taking from other people. Like that they're giving, like if this is you and this is another person, it's like all their care is going into you and out of them, and vice versa when you're doing for them. But the true thing that Spirit has always showed me is that it's actually two cups, one for giving and one for receiving. You can give, and not become depleted. And you can receive without losing from the giving. Does that make sense? So it's not conditional. It is free and clear on both sides. So I think I shuffled Temperance back in here, but Temperance was the angel with the two cups. She's constantly like balancing that, right? And this is your card, Queen of Cups. We'll go into this in a second. But so the belief is actually kind of dangerous that if we're giving to someone else, it's coming out of us, because not only does that belief create depletion, when we believe that, we actually become depleted because we're like, oh, when I give to other people, it's coming from me. This is actually the tenets or the principles of Reiki. When I do Reiki healing, I used to feel like, oh, it's hard for me to do Reiki healing because I'm using all of my healing energy and putting it onto or into someone else in order to clear energy from their body or from their emotional bodies. And it's not true. What I'm doing is I'm acting as a channel for universal energy. So that's another thing to know, is that there's energy that each person holds, but there's also energy of the universe and Mother Earth that is channeled through you. So when you're doing Reiki, you open up yourself as a divine channel, you open Reiki into you. So Reiki comes into you, channels through you, and you just use the instrument of your body to move that energy onto or into someone else. And you either get attuned from a master, someone else that attunes you with this energy in order for you to be able to move the energy through your own body. But this is just giving and receiving in general in life, and so we get to make a conscious choice and an intentioned choice to use the energy of the universe and Earth and Mother Gaia. Mother Gaia is Earth. So using Mother Nature, there's plenty of energy to go around. And when we're using our own constantly, it's just too much. So Jen, when you make the intention to help other people or support other people, do it from, I'm doing this from not my own energy, but from life-giving Mother Earth energy. And if it feels like too much or that you're being depleted because you're doing it, stop. Because no one is going to benefit from that. Especially if you have children, and I know you do, that children look to you because you are their mother, because you are their parent. They look to you as, how am I going to take care of myself when I get older? So think about how you're taking care of yourself and how you're showing up for your children, not for them, but for you. What do you buy for yourself? How do you take care of yourself? How do you show up boundaries? When you show your children you putting up healthy boundaries, they're going to be like, wow, not only will they respect that you're putting up healthy boundaries because they feel you and they feel like your depletion. So when you do it, they're like, it makes them feel better because they're connected to you, but also they're able to pattern off of that. We're patterned by our mothers and fathers. So when they see you say, I'm actually feeling like this is depleting my energy to do that. So I'm going to take a 20-minute break. So like if you're talking to your kids, will you guys color, sit down for a minute, whatever, mommy needs a 20-minute break to kind of, align and to, so that you're not giving from that space. Does that make sense? Okay. So you have this Queen of Cups card. The Queen of Cups is the Queen of Emotions. So this makes sense. This is you. You're a feeling being. You're a mother. You're a nurturer, and not just a mother in general, or specifically to children, but just a mother archetype, right? The archetype of the comforter, the lover, the nurturer. So this is you, and you are the queen of that, but it's also your hero's journey to become even more the steward, the queen of that energy, and to be able to use it effectively so that you're not getting drained. Does this make sense? I'm going to see if I'm... Yes, Kemi says, I give, then expect the other person to give the same energy. Then I get mad when it doesn't happen. Same. That's that's exactly what happens to me. And it's conditional and it's expectations. When you put up an expectation on someone else, it most likely is not going to happen, A. And B, the expectation is usually from something inside of you that you're missing. So the only thing that's going to help that trigger go away or that emotional emptiness go away is for you to fill that hole. Even if someone else did everything that you wanted to and everything that you thought they would do or that you hoped they would do, it still wouldn't be enough because it's not coming from an authentic place from you. So you need to give that to yourself first in order for other people to know how to treat you. So it's like people don't know how to treat you. The only way people know how to treat you is by watching how you treat yourself. That's literally the whole point I'm trying to make. The only way that any person knows how to treat you is by they watch the pattern without even knowing it. A lot of people can be very imperceptive, non-perceptive, whatever the word is, and still know like they're watching you. So people know what they can get away with. It's like when you have a kid or a pet and they act a different way around you than they do their aunt or someone else. It's because they know exactly what they can get away with, what they like, the energy they can bring based on what you're showing them. So we're all mirrors to one another. Yeah, and that's another thing. Jessica Lee is talking about being around people and how it drains us. It's important to, put up protection and to support yourself when you're out and about, and also like knowing when to leave. And also being surrounded by people that have the same vibration as you so that you're not drained by people. So for instance, I went to a party on Sunday, and usually parties will drain me and I don't go anymore, especially since I don't drink anymore. And I went to this party and everyone there was very high vibe, and we were doing like tea ceremonies and we did dancing and we were listening to drumming and we were doing tarot card readings. And so hanging out with those people did not drain me. And I realized, it's not hanging out with lots of people that drains me. It's the type of people and their energy. So really think about who you're surrounding yourself with as well. Okay, great. Thank you, Jen. You're so welcome. Okay. All right. I got led earlier to a question Juliet was asking and I didn't see it. I don't know if you're still here, Juliet W. Juliet asked, is he the one? The first thing I'm hearing is, because your spirit guide said something to me and I held it off for later, but you said, is he the one? And your spirit guide said, if he was the one, you would know. Like if he was the one, oh, no, that's what it was. If he was the one, you wouldn't be asking that question. So if this guy is that you're asking about was the one, you wouldn't have to ask me that. Does that make sense? That's not to say your one isn't out there, or that this person that you're asking about isn't the person that will help you learn the most soul lessons that you need to learn right now. Every single person that we get with, that we're in relationship with, not in romantic or a relationship, but just in relationship to or with, is a divine mirror, but also is a is teaching our soul lessons that we came here to learn. So every person comes in with lessons, every soul comes in with lessons they're here to learn, and we go and manifest those people that are going to make us learn it the most. So one of my lessons is how to be powerful, how to not be a victim. So I chose a family, I chose a mother and a father. I chose a father especially that made me feel victimized, that made me feel small, that made me feel like my voice didn't matter, that made me feel scared and closed down. And the reason that I chose his soul to do that is he was teaching me the lesson of how to break free of those chains that I decided were controlling me, that really weren't, and make the decision to be empowered and to be big and to be loud and to be open. But the only way I was to learn that was to be in the opposite position. It doesn't mean that's always how it has to go, but that's why I chose my dad's soul to learn that lesson, because he was a tough cookie to learn that from. So now that I've gone through so many years of dealing with that trauma, with the processing, with all that stuff around that situation, I'm able to say thank you to my father, not in person, but to his soul, for getting me to this place and be in a space of gratitude. Now, when I'm around him in person, different story. A little bit harder, as we all know. Okay, I hope that helped, Juliet. Just looking through the comments here. Okay, Pamela Brigham asks, I'm wondering how to make my work transition smooth. Pamela, are you still here? Wondering how to make my work transition smooth. And you also asked, I'm wondering why I struggle to stay focused and motivated. I love what I do, but feel overloaded, and so I just do nothing productive. Just seeing if she was asking any more questions or any more. Madeline Maskey asks, or if I'm saying your name, Madeline Mask, is asking, will I ever have kids? I'm seeing yes. I'm seeing a strong yes. However, whenever I do psychic work, I'm doing it from the perspective of how things are right now. We have thousands and thousands and thousands of decisions that our subconscious makes every day that could change that. But as it is right now, yes. Okay, Pamela. So I'm going to talk to you about your work transition. But there was a little bit of confusion for me because you're asking about your work transition, but you're saying, I love what I do. So are you moving into a different company or a different position in the same company? Or do you want to just ask about in general why you struggle to stay focused and motivated? That might be a good one because it affects the most people, because I think we all struggle with staying focused and motivated, but also that's where usually there's underlying things that have nothing to do with actually what you're doing or not doing. There's usually fear that stops you. And so it might be a specific fear. Okay, leaving one job and moving on to a new position. Okay. What I'm hearing and feeling is you have a pattern in your past, whether it's childhood or past lives, of disorganization, of chaos, of things being just chaotic. And there is a pattern that tells you that there's actually a pattern I'm seeing that tells you that chaos is safe. So even though it doesn't feel good and it's not helping you to move forward in your job or your life, it is somehow making you feel safe, so you keep finding ways to make it happen in your life. So it's almost like you're creating chaotic situations, not consciously, in order to feel safe, even though consciously you're going, how could that make me feel safe? What the F? Usually it has something to do with parents or how you were raised. If you were raised in a disorganized household, it might be that for you was how you were patterned for being raised, and that was normal. So chaos became your normal. And so in order to feel safe, or like you're surviving well or okay, like you did when you were a kid, even if you weren't surviving well or okay, it will repeat in order to heal. So does the disorganization or the chaos in your childhood or past life, I'm feeling childhood more so, does that sound right? I'm feeling like, let me do the next thing. Let me think about the next thing, which is the way to move forward. Or like, what's the next step is what I'm hearing. Another thing I'm hearing is stop focusing on what's not working and make a list of what is working. So right now you get stuck in the pattern, and it's probably a pattern from childhood as well, about focusing on what's not working. This also keeps you safe because it keeps you from going up higher and higher and getting promotions and stuff like that, because our ego and everything else, our survival instincts want to keep us safe, aka small. And keeping ourselves small has to do with this that type of energy. Does that make sense? Yeah, so in order to move forward, like making a list of the things that are working in your life and the things that are moving you forward, and really focusing on being in the energy of those things, as opposed to why isn't this working? The why, what your spirit guides are saying is asking why is not helping. So instead of asking why, or really asking any questions, just saying to yourself, like, this is my intention, is to feel like this. It's almost like saying, I talked to a friend of mine today, and Tori, if you're here, big ups to you because this was amazing. She was saying, when you talk to kids or you're teaching kids, you never want to say don't run if they're running. You want to say walk, we're walking, because kids after a while especially stop hearing the words no and don't. But also it's positive reinforcement. We're talking about what we want you to do, not what we don't want you to do. Does that make sense? So if you're telling a kid don't run, that's a negative reinforcement. All they hear is don't, and it's like, it's constricting. But when you say let's walk, we're walking, that makes them feel a part of a community. We're all walking. Okay, we're all walking. And it's like saying, like, when I'm coaching, I'm telling people let's focus on what brings you joy, as opposed to where in your life have you been hurt? Where is the worst amount of pain been in? Let's go into that. People don't, that's uncomfortable thinking about going into pain. It's more like, I know what I'm doing wrong right now, but let's talk about how we can move out of that. Does that make sense, Pamela? Okay, yeah, sounds familiar. Lots of moves and not a lot of consistency. Yes, so look at either Mastin Kipp, or just look at books having to do with attachment patterns, because your attachment patterns are how you attached usually to your primary caregiver. Some of the attachment patterns are safe. So if you had a safe childhood, or if you had disorganized, that's another one, or avoidant. If like you keep having patterns in your life where you just avoid things because it's easier than looking at them, or anxious. So there's an anxious attachment pattern. That's what I have most of. I have a really highly charged nervous system. So, and I grew up in a chaotic household where it was like everyone was screaming all the time. Oh my God, like, how do I save myself from dying in this environment? And especially as a kid, like, survival is number one, because if you are a child and you feel like you won't, like that you don't have love or support or that you're not approved of, you will die. That's like your survival comes in. So look up attachment patterns in general in books on Amazon, or look up Mastin Kipp. He's a guy that does a lot of, he's like an Instagram dude and a coach, and he works a lot with trauma and how to connect how we're acting in our lives now with where it came from and how to heal those bonds. Does that make sense? Okay. Kemi says, hashtag team avoidance. Yeah. Yep. I know all about that. But yeah, I have a lot of anxious in mind. But also, we also have different attachment patterns to different things. I have an anxious attachment pattern to money, or I used to, because I'm repatterning that. I now have a safe attachment pattern to money. So let's say before I was doing this money work, I had an anxious attachment pattern to money. So I was always anxious about, am I going to get it? When I have it, what am I going to do with it? And then let's say with social media, I have a safe attachment pattern. Love social media. Going online, doing live videos, no big deal. Love it. But I had to work to get here. Like, it was anxious at first. So know that your attachment patterns don't serve you, or they don't define you. And that when you start looking into why they're there, then you can alleviate them. Okay. Jessica Lee says, oh, Lord, teach me. Me and money, love-hate relationship. If you need a money coach, let me know. I'll be doing that work all the time. That's another thing. I do programs with people. And since I am a recovered addict, I don't say recovering addict because I'm recovered. Because I'm a recovered addict, I do a lot of programs that are kind of like my own version of 12-step work. It has nothing to do with the 12-step as it is now, because I don't want to, not that I don't want to associate with 12-step work, like I don't want to associate with that, but more so like I've created my own 12-step work using spiritual stuff around life purpose and healing and recovery. So the healing and recovery has to do with healing those attachment patterns. So if anyone's interested in that, let me know. And we can schedule a phone call. Okay, so Pamela says, thanks a lot, very helpful. You are so welcome. Okay, let's keep going. Okay. Patricia Bisterfeld. How do I help my husband overcome depression and be a part of our marriage again? First of all, I'm so sorry that you're going through that. That is very painful. And for anyone here that's been in a relationship where it feels like the other person is draining life force, not to say anything bad about your husband, but that's when we're talking about like vows in marriage, that's what the vows are there for. When shit gets really hard, and let's say someone becomes depressed for 5 years, that's when stuff gets real in marriage. And that's when you, like, I'm not going to tell people to stick around even if it's like abusive, but that's when it really tests your mettle. Like, this is what the vows are about, right? So I don't want to tap. It's not my intention to tap too much into your husband's energy, because unless I have permission from his guides, and I feel that he is guarded. I feel, Patricia, that he's very guarded. So it's so funny because the first thing I'm seeing is, I know he's a heavy metal dude, and the first thing I'm seeing is like a heavy metal wall, kind of like that crashy cymbals, like that big wall of like head banging heavy metal. Like, I'm not listening. It's kind of like a child thing. Like, no. It's very guarded. It's very thick walls. Like fortress, I'm saying like a fortress, a dungeon, really, really thick walls. Now, a lot of male-bodied or masculine, doesn't have to be males, it could be just people that hold masculine energy, have that kind of those walls, but he's like to the nth degree. Excuse me. So his soul, his spirit team is saying that I'm not allowed there, and that's fine, because when I do readings, I'm talking about the person that's asking. So we're going to really talk more about the best way you can handle it. The best way you can handle it, first of all, is to fully be in your own power about who you are, the principles you hold dear, how you navigate your own life, how you're choosing to move through your own life, how you're choosing to show up for the marriage, for your family, for the stuff you do around the house, how you're showing up. The only way he's going to get through this is to have that strong, powerful feminine energy that you own in your body as a, it's almost like it's showing me it as one of the walls. Like he has all these walls like holding people at bay in a way or whatever, and even you, but you get to like contribute to be one of those safety precautions for him. So you don't really even have to tell him this. You just have to or get to really support him by being that authentic self within yourself, holding that power in yourself. Really, if you feel like you want to help him, taking that energy and thinking, what's missing from me? What do I need to do to make myself feel whole and better right now? Because he's going to pick up on that. Not only is it going to support him in getting through this depression, but it's also going to support him in knowing that he has someone so fucking strong there for him that's never going to give up. And so I'm just feeling space, giving him space, and just doing everything you normally do. It might feel lonely, and that's okay. That's not to say just, don't tell him how you feel and give up and let him do what he wants on his own. But what I'm seeing right now is like 2 train tracks. So it's like, which makes sense because you live by the train tracks and everything, which is so funny because when I think of you and Bernath Road and all that stuff, I think of train tracks. So it's like you are on 2 separate train tracks. Think about it though. Both train tracks are embedded into the ground. They're both side by side and they don't leave one another's side. So even though they're on different paths, meaning they're different rails, they're still going in the same direction. They're still connected. They're not, because if you're on a train and there's like 2 tracks for one train, one can't go this way, it doesn't work. So you're still, even though it may not feel like you're on the same page, you're still on the same page. If he's trucking along in his maybe low vibration depression world and you're trucking along in whatever, you're still standing side by side, like looking at each other like, okay, we're still here. We're just going about different paths to get to where we converge. So there'll be times when you converge, come out, converge, come out. So you have converged many times and now it's time to kind of let him have his little non-convergence, okay? Another thing I'm hearing and feeling is when and if you want to communicate with him and you feel like you can't in the physical, you can't in real life or in the real world, or like you can't talk to him like he's in his own world. What I always suggest, because I do this with my dad, because my dad has dementia and he also is really, he has so much pain in his body and in his life that he's almost created an avatar of who he is. He's not even the same person anymore. So you can't, when I talk to him, I'm like, this isn't my dad I'm talking to. So what I do is I think you've heard me say this in videos before, but I create like a cave of crystal and I put 2 chairs in it. And I create like where the other person's soul sitting in a chair across from me. And I ask them questions and I tell them things. So like when my dad was sick and in the hospital and he was on his deathbed, excuse me, I closed my eyes and I live in LA and he lives in Washington State. And you can do this from anywhere in the world. You can take their energy and put it across from you and just say, this is how I'm feeling. This is how I'm not able to really talk to you. I'm not able to talk about this with you right now because I'm feeling a closed off energy, and that's fine. You get to be how you get to be in this moment. But right now, like I just need to get stuff off my chest. And since I can't talk to you in the physical, I'm going to talk to your soul about it. You may find when you create these 2 chairs that his soul, like I just did when I tried to tap into it, was a big wall. That's fine. He doesn't need to contribute and have a back and forth conversation with you, but he gets to listen. So you get to set up that intention and say, hey, I just need to get the stuff off my chest. And since I can't talk to you really in the physical because you're going through something, I just need to tell you what I'm going through and how I'm feeling in response to what I'm getting from you. This isn't to say that you should just ignore trying to have a relationship where you have relationship conversations. But if it's too heavy for him, too hard for him, and you can feel that, just give him some space. Hey, Savannah. Hey, Genesis. Thank you for subscribing. Okay, I'm going to answer a few more questions. Before I continue, I just want to let people know that for those of you who are coming in who haven't met me before or know what I do, my name is Erin Gallagher. My business is Erin Inspirational. I am a tarot and Akashic Records reader and teacher. I am also a healer. I do emotional clearing, and I really tap into your emotional bodies, feel what's blocking you, and clear that out so that you can move forward with power and purpose and take the pain or the guilt or the shame or the heaviness you feel and transmute it into love, power, purpose. Okay. Also, most of the work I do is on Facebook. So if you want to follow me on Facebook, everything across Facebook, Instagram, and everything is the same, Erin Inspirational. It's not Erin Inspirational. It's Erin Inspirational, one word. So it's like the word inspirational with an ER in the beginning. In the description of this video, it has all of my social media contacts, so you can contact me there. If you want to schedule a more in-depth private reading with me, I do $35 readings, $75 readings, and $135 readings, depending on what you want and what level of depth you want. I also do medium readings, so I connect with people that have passed in your life. And I also do Reiki. So if you're having anything where you feel like pain or stuff is coming up to be released, let me know. Also, if you want to talk about packages or consistent healing over time, I do offer complimentary 30-minute phone calls, and that link is below. And one more thing is, if you have gotten a message from me and it really helped you, or you want to support me, I have a link down there for donating. If you want to donate $5, $10, if and when you get a reading or you feel like you feel called to donate. Do not feel like you have to. It's just there just in case. Okay, so I'm going to do a few more, and I usually make these about an hour. So, and usually the spirit will stop me when it's time to stop. So we'll do about probably 15 more minutes and then close out. Okay. Patricia says, thank you. That was a great way. That is a great way to talk to him through his walls. You are very welcome. Oh, thank you, Savannah. Let me see, just looking. I always pick people based on where spirit leads me. And yes, Genesis, you can ask a question. Anybody can ask a question. Just pop it in the chat and I will try to get to it. We'll see. It really depends on where spirit leads me. Savannah says, what are William's feelings for me currently? He's in the military and he's going to be gone for 9 months. Oh man, it is tough being with a military person. Whew. I understand that. What I'm feeling, Savannah, is that it's very hard for him to focus on your feelings when he doesn't understand his. He wants to, like, I feel that he so badly wants to be all that he can be for you, which is funny because I just said be all that you can be, which is very military of me. Thanks, Spirit. Spirit's funny no matter what. So anyways, feeling that there's a push and pull that he's experiencing where there's a different energy. They're showing me two different energy bodies. One of the energy bodies is, I want to show up as this powerful protector who Savannah needs, like who she needs in her life. Like, I'm really dedicated and committed. And he's a military guy, so he has this committed, principled exterior, right? But deep down, he still doesn't know. He's showing me a child. Like, he's showing me he still doesn't know how to deal with childhood emotions. And I don't know if he ever got abused, but I'm feeling some kind of like a dog that's been abused, and you kind of like, he has like a little I don't know if this has to do with like military related PTSD or anything like that, anxiety disorder, but I'm feeling like childhood, something having to do with abuse. Doesn't have to be physical abuse, but just anything where he felt like that. Um, oh, he's going, okay, so he's going through basic training right now, and it's intense. So it's not that he's scared on the outside. Like when you look at him, he's just um, navigating life like anyone else. But internally, there's like the scared little boy he's showing me is like his inner child that's deep down inside. So there's some fear there about showing up for you fully because he can't, he's like, how can I show, basically what his inner child is saying is, how can I show up fully for you as the man that you deserve when I can't show up fully for myself? So he's going through a lot of emotional stuff. And Savannah says he seems really open to me. Yeah, so this is like I was saying about an internal thing. So there's like an inner child thing that's separate from how he's showing up, right? So he's just having internal monologue that he may or may not understand. I'm just hearing and feeling a lot of inner child stuff, okay? That's not to say that he's not dedicated to you or in love with you. It's just he's feeling this separation within himself that has nothing to do with you. Okay. Yeah. So what I'm feeling is like he's doing this military work to prove to himself that he is. It's interesting because he's worthy. He knows he's worthy of you and being with you and connected with you. But at the same time, he's doing this work with the military to prove to himself and to you that he is worthy, strong, and there's a little bit of proving energy. Yeah, so it's like proving whether I just keep seeing two different things. So the inner child and the outer exterior. And men are really good. I'm not saying all men, but a lot of men are really good at like showing up a certain way in their lives, but then internally having a lot of stuff going on that they don't really show on the outside. So this isn't to say that he's damaged or anything like that. I'm just saying there is some inner child stuff that he's working on that he may not even know he's working on, but he is working hard to prove to you that he's can show up to you in this way. Just what I'm feeling and hearing is patience. So just having patience, especially as you go through this deployment and him being away, having patience, keeping your connection very light, letting him go through what he needs to go through, because basic training is really intense, even if it's not hard for them physically. Basic training is more a mental game. Okay. So letting him have his kind of almost like being this loving, giving presence that he can go to when he's like done for the day, right? Yeah, so Savannah's saying you talk and text every day. Good, good, good. No, he's not interested in anyone else because right now he's focused really on himself. Um, Men in general are very single focused. So if he's in the military and basic training, that's what he's focusing on. So any insecurities that come up for you about, does he like me? Does he love me? How does he feel about me? Is you and not him, because he is dedicated to the work he's doing and he's wants to be supported by you and support you. So the more strong emotionally that you show up and the more fun and playful and supportive that you show up without any like questioning around how he's showing up, is going to support him, and being patient as he goes through this process and letting him have that single-mindedness to basic training. If there's a few days that pass by and he's in basic training, it's because he's focusing all of his attention. And again, there's inner child work going on. So he's focusing all his attention, and stuff that he may not even be conscious of is going on. So just being really patient, really loving, and not having any doubts or any suspicion or anything like that, because that's just he's gonna feel that as you not trusting him. Okay, so that's what I see. I hope that helped. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna do one or two more. Genesis asks, I haven't had any communication with Cinder. Is he in jail? I hear a no. Savannah says, thank you. It helped a lot. You're so welcome. So Genesis, yeah, I hear a very strong no, but I do feel when that lack of communication happens, it's just asking for space. So just give that person space. Trust. There's a big through line of trust here. What I'm feeling is the feminine, especially in this room right now. If there's any kind of insecurity of the self, it's going to be felt by the masculine. And so when you show up secure or work on those things in yourself and you trust yourself, they're going to feel that energy and it's going to be easier for them to interact with you, if that makes sense. Okay, I'm going to do one more message. Bill, are you still there? I know, Bill, you said something that you felt like there was a... I want to see if Bill's still here. Genesis says, does he miss me? It's been a year. Yes, I feel that he misses you, but he just doesn't know how to deal with it right now. Like, that's why the like, I just hear a hand going up. I was going to go say see a hand, but for some reason I hear a hand going up. Maybe it's like doof or something. Just give him space. Hi, Jenny. Welcome. I'm just about to end the video, of course, but it's okay. I'll be doing these a lot now that I finally broke the seal of YouTube Live. So thank you all for joining and any new people that joined. I have a tarot group, a private tarot group on Facebook called Transform Through Tarot with Erin Gallagher. Please go join. Friend me on Facebook. I love personal friend requests. Go find my page on Facebook, Erin Inspirational. I do most of my work on Facebook, and I am just now finally expanding onto YouTube, so it's very exciting. So my private Facebook group about tarot is called Transform Through Tarot with Erin Gallagher. Go find me on there and check me out. Okay, Bill. Let me just feel. Jenny, I've been feeling called to do a double reading with you and your mom. So if and when you're ready for that, let me know because I can connect you both to your uncle and her brother, your mom's brother. Okay. Because a medium reading, especially for someone who just passed, like even if I give a little message, it's just not going to feel right. It's not going to feel like I've given him enough space. Okay, Bill. I'm seeing, it's almost like a suffocating energy, but it's more like a drowning, like underwater energy, like a thick, like hard to breathe, like throat chakra stuff is really coming up strong. I don't know if it's like, I do feel past lives around suffocation, not being able to breathe, not being able to speak your truth, victimized through not being able to speak, strangled. I don't know if you were ever actually strangled, or silenced. I'm hearing the word silenced. So suffocating, pushed underwater, drowning. So there's a whole lot of past life stuff going on around that too. I'm just feeling, actually, it's not even just past life, but it's all like, it's all adding up over all these lifetimes to now. And that's why if things feel heavy or like you're moving through them very slowly or sludgily, that's a word I just made up, It's because of this. It's because of this throat chakra stuff. Throat chakra has to do with, no. So whenever I talk about throat chakra, there's certain things I say, but for you, it's not that. Let me think. Let me feel into this. So I'm feeling like the suffocation, which goes into feeling victimized, but validated victimized is what I'm hearing, because you have been a victim, you have been treated poorly. However, and you already know this, that it doesn't define you, but there's something still in your energy profile that is telling you that you either deserve it to be the victim or that it helps you somehow. It's almost like, this is what I'm being shown. It's like, let's say there's a mother who works her butt off and takes care of everyone else all the time, and like Jen was talking about earlier, and depletes herself, and she constantly asks her husband for help, and he just does not even answer her. He's on the couch drinking beer, watching TV. Not only does he not do it, he doesn't even answer her. He doesn't even respond to her. It makes her feel victimized. It makes her feel powerless, and it makes her feel like it doesn't matter what I do, I am stuck. So what happens is she goes out to do something. She's hurrying around because she's in this state of powerlessness. She's in the state of terror and fear, and like, why am I not getting what I deserve? Why isn't this happening? And she breaks down, she falls down and breaks her ankle. This is the universe forcing her to stop doing and forcing her to be supported. So instead of having to ask people over and over, it forces, by her literally being to where she can't stand up or she can't get up off the couch, it forces people to support her. Because it may sound like her doing all this supporting of other people is actually her trying to, well, put power on it, like give herself power, but it's also that she's not good at receiving, right? Because if she was good at receiving, she could just say, sit down. She'd say, sit down, go, you get me something this time. And that might get his attention, right? So this is all to say that it's almost like, you know, when your body breaks down or when you have body issues, it's like almost like validating that either suffocation or the I can't do that, or the I'm stuck, I'm suffocating thing keeps coming up. And by being in a situation where you can't do things like normal, or whatever, it's what's that word? Causing it, or it's perpetuating. That's the word. Perpetuating the same response from certain people. Does that land at all? That's just what's coming up. Also, just a lot with throat chakra, but it doesn't have anything to do with speaking your truth, because you're pretty good at that. You're really good at that. But more about how to navigate this, or alleviate that energy of powerlessness. So just, I'm feeling a lot about throat chakra stuff. Okay, I think I'm gonna end the video. I'm feeling like it's a energetic ending. Thank you so much for joining me. I love you guys so much, having you guys supporting me and being in this channel and getting messages, receiving messages, chatting with everyone else as they're having their readings. It means a lot to me. Thank you so much for your time. And again, all of my information is in the description of my video. If you want to get a private reading with me, if you want to schedule a 30-minute complimentary phone call, if you're interested in working with me one-on-one, if you'd like to learn tarot or Akashic Records, also head over to Transform Through Tarot with Erin Gallagher on Facebook. That is my Facebook private group. And I will be posting these on there, but also doing videos within that group just for that group. Okay. Yes, Bill, let's talk about it more in text or in message. Okay. Jessica, thank you. You're so welcome. I will have a beautiful night. Christina says, thank you, Erin, for your time. This was fun. Ah, hi, it's Pizza. That's a cute name. Just joined. Hello. I'm just about to end the video, but I will start doing these. If you subscribe and hit the bell next to the subscription thing, it will email you every time I do a video. So the next video, you will be able to join right when it happens. Love you guys so much. Have a beautiful night, and I will see you on the next live stream. Bye, guys.